Sup guys, in today's video I'm going to talk about the ending of The Gamer, both the fans' opinions and my own thoughts on it. Just a heads up, I'll be speaking as if you've already read the manhwa. Alright, let's start with Reddit, one of the biggest communities for The Gamer. I found some really interesting takes there. So, one user called MallardGod said that the ending was disappointing, but at the same time understandable. He pointed out that the manhwa industry can be brutal, and a lot of stories end earlier than expected because of the author's health or burnout. Now, someone replied to him with a completely different perspective. They basically argued that the real issue wasn't the author's health, but the pacing of the story itself. According to them, it felt like the author was dragging things out on purpose, kind of stretching the story for as long as possible, and then, in the end, just wrapping everything up suddenly, with an overpowered, almost Deus Ex Machina type of conclusion, leaving a lot of plot points unresolved. And honestly, this right here shows the split in the community. Some people are sympathetic towards the author, while others feel like the story lost direction a long time ago. Now here's another take from a user called Bob Newcomb445, and this one goes even harder on the criticism. He said the ending felt really rushed, like the whole war arc was basically skipped over. According to him, Han Ji-han barely did anything outside of a few big moments, and everything else just felt ignored. He also pointed out something a lot of fans noticed. Many plot lines just go nowhere. Characters get introduced, and then they either disappear completely or end up doing nothing important. And the final fight? He felt like it didn't live up to the hype at all. In his words, it was just nothing special. A lot of build-up, but no real payoff, and so many questions left unanswered. Then someone replied to him with a much more emotional reaction. They said they had just finished the ending and felt this huge emptiness, like a hole in their stomach. They even started searching everywhere online, trying to understand what happened and why the ending felt so sudden. They also brought up the author's health, saying they understand if that played a role in how things ended, but at the same time, they couldn't hide how disappointed they were. They described the final boss fight as being so short it was over in seconds, and mentioned how many important things were never explored, like the full 9 gates and other major plot points. And honestly, this comment really shows how attached people were to The Gamer. For some fans, this wasn't just another manhwa, it was something they genuinely loved. So when the ending came out like this, it didn't just feel rushed, it felt unfinished. At this point, you can really see a pattern. Most fans aren't just complaining for no reason. They're frustrated because they saw the potential this story had, and they feel like it never fully delivered in the end. And now for my own opinion. I'm the kind of person where if I read a manhwa that goes over 300 chapters, it stops being just a story. It becomes something more, like a habit, almost like something personal, something that becomes part of me. So yeah, I know some people will say I'm overreacting. They'll say every story has to end eventually. And that's true, I'm not against endings, but at least make the ending feel complete. Make it understandable. Don't just cut it off in a way that leaves you feeling empty. Because that's really what this felt like. It didn't feel like a conclusion. It felt like something was missing. And I think that's why it hit so hard. Not because it ended, but because it didn't feel like a real ending.